So I'm going to go over a case study with you. This is subject to creative financing. If you don't know who I am, my name is Franklin Cruz. I took one house to 41 houses on 9-acre parcels, sold to KB Homes for $1.25 million, and then they turned around and named the street after me. Super cool. Yes, I've been on the front page newspaper and all these other things dealing with my properties. But let me go over creative financing and how you actually want to situate it step by step. So the case study, because I actually wrote down some notes, was 3115 Skyview. So this property, her name was Celeste. Here's the actual contract as well. And one is you always want to make sure that you understand the goal and the situation. Now, remember, in the acquisition process, there is an entire skew of things that you've got to make happen within this process. And the first one that you want to do is you want to make sure that the person's actually ready to sell their property. If they are not ready to sell their property, then don't go to the appointment. Don't see the property. It's going to be a waste of your time. This person wanted to sell. She was an older lady, and she had one manufactured home that she told me about. When I finally reviewed it with the daughter, and I saw the property, then I understood their situation. I asked them, I said, hey, do you have any other properties that possibly you want to sell? She said, yes. I said, okay. This one deal turned into two deals. But when you're breaking down a creative subject to deal, this is what I call a bank-free deal. When you're breaking down a bank-free deal, the way you want to look at it is step one, figure out their solution. What is the solution and goals? What's the seller's constraint? What does that look like? And what are their non-negotiables, right? Seller's constraint, non-negotiables. Then you want to look at what is the financial snapshot. Okay, so what you're doing is what is the existing loan? What is the equity position? Meaning how much equity is in the property and what's their loan? What's that delta? What's the difference between the two, right? And then and this is utilities, taxes, insurance, everything. Then you kind of want to go into what I call like a deal scenario. Okay, so if I take over the note, or if you owe nothing, because she didn't owe anything, if you owe nothing on this property, what are the next steps? What do we do next, right? And how much cash do you need right now, minus the repairs? And then see if you could break it out in payments. So what you want to do is you're going through what are their constraints, what are the goal, right? What is the goal, but what are constraints within the goal? And then what are the facts of the deal, and how do you come up with a fast, slow, creative solution? Sometimes that could be having the conversation with the seller. You're going to have to break this down, and you're going to problem solve with them. Those are always the best deals because, one, you're getting it from the source. That's the seller, right? So any seller, my goal with any seller is to maximize profitability for them realistically. And I also have to educate them on exactly what's happening. Because a lot of times they don't understand. They don't understand there's no comps on their property. They don't even understand a lot of times 9 out of 10 people that I have met do not know how to actually review comps. 5 years up, 5 years down of your property. It's got to be similar in style, similar in square footage, upgrades versus downgrades. And then you take all that and it creates an actual formula for an appraisal, period. And if you ask any appraiser, that's literally that's the code, that's the formula, right? To keep it simplified. But your goal is to see if you could come up with 3 different kind of terms that may work for that person. And then you're working it out together. So 1, you want to make sure that you have trust and rapport. 2, that you want to make sure that you're creating some kind of situation that, 1, they're being educated. Educate them, show them the actual appraisal. That's literally what I do is I bring the appraisal with me, which, for example, could be something like this, 30, 40 pages, and I walk them through the actual appraisal. Matter of fact, I think I even got one in front of me. So once I do that, now we're creating what are the terms that we want to do. So for example, it could be as simple as terms on, okay, so we're going to do first payment $10,000 in 30 days, second payment $10,000 in 60 days, and then the remaining balance in 90 days once everything is complete. Seller financing term. Done. Literally. This is how easy it is on a 3-page contract. Keep it stupid simple. If you need to clean it up, you can clean it up nice and pretty if you want. It's exactly the same damn thing that I just said right now, but in a nicer way. If you want to see a lot more case studies as well, and I dig into a lot more training, everything is actually, you could just go to my website, trueinvestors.com. There's no opt-ins involved either. You could just click, 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 click. I put over 107 case studies on there right now. We've got more, but I'm doing my best, okay? Hopefully this is opening your eyes when it comes down to bank-free deals subject to creative financing, right? Subject to means you're taking over a note, and creative financing are the creative terms that you're coming up with to actually make the deal work, period. And don't forget, the biggest thing that you want to do is, if you take anything out of this, the biggest lesson is test this out. What I love is testing negotiations. A lot of people do not have the reps in with negotiations. You want to do something simple in negotiations, play Monopoly with your family, and then say, look, we're going to do and write creative terms. Hey, I want your property, but can we do creative terms? Probably 3 spins around. I'll give you X amount of dollars, or you could have, I have the property, you have the cash. Let's start putting hotels on there. That's real life. Like that's the real scenario. I do this all the time. Right? So that's how you want to review that kind of situation. Also, you want to let them know and have clarity with you're dealing with the seller of what they're walking away with. Period. What are they walking away with? Make it very easy and simple for them. Help them. Period. If you got to help them move, help them move. That's it. It's not a big deal. Like, just help them move. Me and my son, we've done this before. I've had to hire people, get the U-Haul F650, get everything up. I even have an account with U-Haul as well. You could have one, right on your phone. If they need assistance, if they need food, get Instacart app. People go through stuff. Sometimes people don't even have the money to move, or they don't have the money for anything. So you're like, all right, look, we're going to get you to move, but it's going to be the day that we actually just transfer over the contract to us, but we'll get you the money like ASAP. And make sure it's fair terms. You know why? Because then those people are going to refer you people. And that's actually what you want. You want the referral, period. Because if you keep a good rep in your area, right? If you keep that reputation like as spotless as you can. And things may come up, but be honest with your investors if they come up. Be honest with the people around. Hey, this deal went completely sideways, or I was going through a separation, or for me, I went through a divorce. I didn't know the judge is going to give them like 5 properties that I had notes on and say, hey, Franklin, you're going to pay off all the properties, but she keeps the properties free and clear. You're like, what? How does that even work? Right? But it does. It is what it is, right? Okay, this is a lot being said. Hopefully you're getting a lot out of this, the bank-free transactions. So step 1, remember this. Nothing is impossible. Everything is possible as long as 2 people sign and agree. Don't overthink creative terms. It could be as simple as, we'll give you $10,000 in the next 30 days, $10,000 in 60 days, pay off the balance when it's done, or you can carry the note as well. Just keep it stupid simple. Period. And don't give them anything at all until you at least sign over the deed. It could be a land trust. It could be whatever else. We'll talk more about that later. But all right, bye. Hopefully you got something out of this. If you want to check out a whole bunch of other stuff, go to trueinvestors.com. Tons of case studies, tons of just educational stuff. I'm just doing my part. All right, bye.